Hey guys, it's OD here with a new Demon Hunter guide. It's the Rift Guardian Survival Guide, which will be split into 3 parts, this being the first. In this one, I will be covering the 7 bosses mentioned in the introduction. I will mention the important animations and abilities you should watch out for, their elemental damage type, how to deal with most of them, and rate them according to their difficulty based on my personal experience. Most of the runs were recorded on Greater Rift 46, since I needed to get footage for all of them and seemed like a decent difficulty to showcase their abilities while also not spending too much time recording. Starting off with Agony Ducks. He has several special attacks which you'll have to watch out for. First we have Mortar. You'll be able to see this animation in time since you get several small circles just like any other elite using the suffix. Pretty easy to deal with via smokescreen or vault, where simply moving out of the area the mortars will hit. Keep in mind that simply moving out of the circle isn't enough, they still deal damage in the area of the circle, so move out a bit more than just the edges. AoE Fireballs. He will simply shoot fireballs in a 360 degrees circle around him, smokescreen or vault when they're about to hit you. 3 fireballs in a frontal cone attack. It's easy to avoid, just move out of their path or use an immunity skill. The Floor Pentagram. You can see it forming under your feet, you have a second or two, so move before it starts doing damage. All of his abilities deal fire damage. Overall, I'd rate this as an easy boss to deal with when in an open area, to medium if you're in an enclosed space. Try to fight him in a large room so you can have a clear area coverage and be able to avoid his attacks while still doing max damage. Second boss, we have the Binder. He has a spider web which is meant to slow you down so he can hit you with his other attacks. Preferably move out of this ASAP so you can avoid taking damage afterwards. Poison Bolts, which he will shoot in your general direction, easy to avoid by moving or simply using an immunity skill. He will also spawn some small spiders around him, not really a problem for range classes, so nothing to worry about. His frontal cone of Poison Bolts though, which aren't exactly poison, they're physical damage I think, you have to be careful with these since your immunity amulet won't save you from them. Most of his abilities are poison as mentioned before. I'd rate this as an easy to deal with boss. None of his attacks are really dangerous in the sense of unavoidable damage. Then we have Blood Maw. This guy doesn't really have that many abilities, however, it's pretty easy for him to catch you off guard. Most of them are simply him jumping into the air and trying to stomp on your head. He also has an Enrage, making him attack faster and deal more damage while reaching low health, but this won't really bother ranged classes. His Ground Stomp, which will be on your current position and will be indicated by the circle under your feet, you have a bit of time to move or vault smokescreen out of it. His Random Consecutive Ground Stomps, which will be cast on random locations, just watch out for where he will be jumping to and avoid that area. All of his attacks are of physical nature. I'd rate this as an easy boss. All of his attacks are easily avoidable and none of them are really ranged projectiles or anything. Difficulty might increase depending on where you'll be finding him if you don't have a lot of space to maneuver, but overall still easy to deal with. Then we have Cold Snap. This one has some pretty annoying abilities. I'll start with the easy ones. Frozen Pulse, just like any other elite, he will spawn a Frozen Pulse which will home in on you, and once it reaches your location, it will go immobile and start to do damage. I personally like to let the pulse reach me, then smokescreen and move away, or vault. Otherwise, if you keep moving and trying to avoid it, it will constantly move with you. Small frozen globes, they don't deal damage like frozen for example, until they explode. When they do explode, the damage isn't that high, however, considering the amount of globes he spawns, it can get you frozen in a bad place and get you killed through some of his other attacks. Cold Nova, basically it's an AoE damage type of attack in a 360 degrees circle around him. The range is really high as you can see, so try to keep him as far away as possible or you will get hit. Good thing is, he's a pretty easy boss for your follower pets to tank him for whatever reason, so he will not be chasing you around most of the time. Charge, just like any other mob of his type, he has a charge and will use it if you're too close to him. Stay at max range and you'll be safe. All of his spells are cold damage. I'd rate this as a medium difficulty boss towards hard, depending on the area you'll be finding him in. Keep max range at all times and be on your guard to avoid the frozen pulse. Then we have the Sand Shaper. This guy is basically the copy of Zoltan Kull and has a few annoying abilities. He can get quite spammy with them as well towards the end of the fight when he enrages. Teleport, he uses it quite often, and he basically teleports on top of you, then quickly casts one of his other spells. Move away ASAP with Volt or Smokescreen to avoid potential damage. Then we have a simple Fireball. By itself it's not that dangerous since it can be easily avoided, but in combination with his other skill Slow Time, it can be deadly. Slow Time, just like the Wizard spell, it reduces your attack speed as well as movement speed, so move out of it ASAP. Tornadoes, he can cast tornadoes which move around the room and bounce off walls. He can be quite spammy with this spell, so try to fight him in an open area to have a lot of place to dodge them, or simply keep retreating when it's too many to deal with. He will teleport on your new location pretty fast, so no reason to fear him not following you and losing time. Collapse Healing, which will look like a small earthquake. As soon as your screen shakes, move out with Volt or Smokescreen to prevent taking damage. I'd rate this as a medium difficulty boss in an open area, hard in an enclosed one. His attacks have different elements ranging from fire to arcane on his tornadoes for example. Then we have Saxtris. One of the worst bosses you'll have to fight. His difficulty doesn't really come from his ability to kill you as much as the ability to artificially increase his health pool by the amount of mobs he will summon. He has Vortex. If you're too close to him, he will Vortex you in to either melee you or get you killed via his ads, so basically stay at medium range if not max at all times. Tornadoes, he can get quite spammy with these, so try to fight him in an open area or keep retreating when there's too many to avoid. He spawns ads from time to time and even more often when on low health that aren't really dangerous but have a ton of HP. It can be quite overwhelming towards the end of the fight, but basically the main issue with this boss is the amount of time it will take you to kill him compared to the other ones. It's the exact opposite of Stonesinger for demon hunters at least. His spell abilities are arcane. I'd rate this as a hard boss no matter what, simply due to how long it will take you to kill him on higher difficulties. Then we have Tethris. This succubus boss is quite easy. It has a few annoying abilities, but as long as you're focused during the fight, it shouldn't raise any problems. First we have Teleport. She teleports quite often if you're in close range of her, after which she will promptly try to kill you with one of her attacks. Smoky pentagrams, just like Agony Docks and the Man Carver, you'll have time to move out of them before they start dealing damage. Be careful to react in time, either with Volt or Smokescreen. She also has a front cone of attacks of fireballs, 2 waves of 3 fireballs each. It's easy to avoid and quite slow projectiles really. Her abilities are fire. I'd rate this as an easy boss. Nothing really dangerous stands out except your focus in moving out of her pentagrams in time. Well, hope you enjoyed this guide guys, and I'll see you in part 2, which should be ready by next week I hope. Don't forget to like and share, it helps a lot. Cheers!